Welcome back to episode 127 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. Yeah, we are back in our normal places. It was so nice being in the same room last week recording a podcast talking about baseball, but of course, I do not live out there. I live out in LA, and I did have to return home, and I did return home. Not as quickly as everybody would probably think I did, but
Yeah.
uh, I made it home safely, so that's all that matters. Happy to be home. Everybody in my family is happy. My brother's home from college, so that's good. Uh, we got stuff that we got to talk about. And you hit it right on the head. There's a lot of drama right
hmm
now with some of these teams, and we're gonna discuss it. We've got two firings, I think, in the same week. Derek Shelton of the Pirates and Bud Black of the Rockies got canned. Uh, we got Rafael Devers. Yeah, he's coming off winning Player of the Week, but there's also trade rumors now starting, maybe with him and kind of his unwillingness to play other positions. So we'll touch on that. And then this just broke about maybe a couple hours ago. Evan Longoria calling it a career after 16 seasons. We'll touch on that. And then, of course, like we always do at the end, Dodgers, Yankees. But before we get into all that, Kyle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Obviously, it was an extremely busy weekend for us last weekend, and just going through the ebbs and flows of the normal week. It caught up to me there a little bit. It was kind of just all caught up, very busy. But no, you kind of hit it, man. There's always something about recording the podcast when it's you and I in person. We talk about it all the time. We are grateful that we get the opportunity to do this every week, but it just makes it that much better. The regular ebbs and flows of a normal podcast. You don't need to deal with the technical issues. You don't need to kind of wait until the other person stops talking, kind of thing. It's more of a flowing conversation, but no, you know, kind of you had to go back home. That's just how it goes, man. And bittersweet. It's always bittersweet whenever we get together and then got to part ways. But I'm glad you're home safe. I'm glad your brother's home safe from college. Everybody's good and everything's good. But yeah, no, overall, man, kind of just getting back into the flow of things. Baseball full swing. We are officially getting to the dog days. We are, and it's a beautiful thing. We're kind of at the point where losses don't matter as much. It's more of the fact, like, okay, get them tomorrow. Don't let these add up. But for some of these teams, man, they added up, and they added up quickly. So we'll talk on that. We'll touch base. But other than that, man, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. I am still feeling uh, the trip from Minnesota. I was there all last week helping my brother finish and honestly just waiting for him to finish his finals. Um, Left Minnesota Friday morning, got to Eagle, Colorado at about 7:30, chilled, took a swim in the pool and the jacuzzi for a little bit, got some food, and then got up Saturday morning, took the 13-hour drive. It took about 13 and a half hours to get from Morris, Minnesota to Eagle, Colorado, where our hotel was. And then it took about another 13 hours to get from Eagle, Colorado to my house here in LA. So my brother and I are extremely tired. Well, not him because he went to go hang out with his friends today. So clearly he's not that tired. But um, yeah, still a little tired. Not complaining though. Not complaining. It's not too often when you get to like just go on a road trip like that. Not that I wanted to do it, but um, again, no problem. Glad we're home safe. My brother's home safely. Um, I showed it to you before we started, but I did come home with some souvenirs. We had some time to explore Denver on Friday, and I got to see Coors Field, beautiful stadium. I wish I was able to go inside the game, but got to see the outside of it, took my picture, and then I was able to get this hat, this nice Rockies hat with the purple and everything. I like it. And then, of course, I was at the Twins game on Tuesday, and I got a Twins hat. So very nice, and
See,
I got to see It's their City Connect. Yeah, the Twin Cities. I don't know if it's their City Connect. It might be like their alternates or something, but it's the
Mhm.
one with like the cream. I love it. It's not white. It's cream. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but um,
Yeah.
it's kind of a creamish color, and I like it. So it was fun hanging out in Minnesota for well, not it was fun hanging out in Minnesota for almost a week, but by Thursday I got kind of homesick. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, I'm ready to not, and that's on top of being in PA last 2 weeks, well, almost 2 weeks ago now, for Matt's wedding. So I was ready to come home, but I'm glad we made it home safely, and yeah, we could keep it rolling here. And the grind's not gonna stop because tomorrow the Dodgers open a 9 game homestand.
Jeez.
9 game homestand. So I only had yesterday, which happy Mother's Day, by the way, to all the beautiful mothers out there. Hope you got to spend time with, all your mothers, and, hope you guys did something nice for her because I'm sure that she deserves it. And then today, not working, had to do some stuff with my mom because I wasn't able to yesterday because we were so beat. And then tomorrow I go back to work and I got a 9 game homestand. And there's some big, big giveaways coming up. We got Mookie bobblehead tomorrow. I think we have Shohei's second bobblehead later this week. So we got some big stuff coming. But so I'm gonna be gassed by the time this homestand is done. And I'll be celebrating a birthday soon. So I'll be turning 23 next week. So the grind's not gonna stop. I'm like on a 2 week, almost 3 week eater here. So but
You make me
hey,
feel old, man. I just want to make that comment. You make me feel old, man. You really do. I'm gonna be 25 in about a month. Actually, less than a month, June 11th. So it's less than a month now.
less than a month now. But yeah.
23.
So we're getting old, man. We are getting old.
Crazy,
Yeah.
man. But yeah, no,
So
that's tough, man.
yeah, but we'll be all right. We'll make it through. I don't know how, but I don't do drugs or drink coffee or anything like that, so just gonna have to rely on sleep. But we'll be. Oh, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Um, yeah, doing well though. Happy we're home, and it
Absolutely.
was it was nice hanging out with my brother in Minnesota, and like I said, it was nice being there for Matt's wedding. So
Yeah.
all right, well. Let's move on from that. Let's get into some baseball stuff here. We had 2 firings. We'll start off here. Um, Derek Sheldon of the Pittsburgh Pirates got the heave ho, and Bud Black yesterday. Uh, I put out a video, just my little reaction video to it. I don't understand why they did it after a win. I know, if you want to fire somebody, especially a guy like Bud Black who's been there for a while, you want to, I guess, let him go on top. But it's like,
Yeah.
for me, we'll get into it later. But I don't know why he was there that long, anyways. But um, there's some turmoil in that Pirates locker room.
Yeah.
And I think you heard it from pretty much the leader at this point, Paul Skeens. You know,
Hmm.
he came out, obviously they asked the star player, hey, what's your thoughts on the firing? And he pretty much said that, hey, somebody had to take the blame for it and not happy. Which one were you more surprised by? Derek Shelton or Bud Black?
Um, Definitely Derek Sheldon here. For me, Bud Black was inevitable. It was gonna happen at some point this season. Um, yeah, are you mad about the draft order?
Oh my God, they got the first pick. Sorry. The Dallas Mavericks won the lottery. They're going to get Cooper Flag. I don't fucking believe it. You can't be serious. Oh my God.
Love live reactions on the podcast,
Are
by the way.
you
I love
serious? So let me. Okay, sorry. Before we
You're
get
good.
back into this, so their GM Nico Harrison makes the dumbest trade in NBA history. Dumbest trade in NBA history, and then he's gonna get rewarded
Hmm.
with one of the best prospects, college prospects of the 21st century in Cooper Flag from Duke. You've got to be kidding me. Are you serious? Like, listen, I thought it would be funny that they would win the lottery and he would get the first pick. I didn't think that was actually going to happen. You can't be serious right now. Oh my God. Are you serious? What? All right. Well, sorry. That's sorry. That's Kyle. You may continue.
All good, man. So yeah, Derek Shelton was definitely the surprise of the two. Bud Black was inevitable. With the way this Rockies season is going, it's worse than the 2024 White Sox at this point. Through however many games we're at right now, so it was inevitable. I knew it was going to happen. Um, so Derek Shelton, the Pirates, I thought his job was kind of safe going into the season. Of course, now obviously when the Pirates were off to this kind of horrific start, rumblings started happening. I didn't think that it would be this early. Derek Shelton's been that guy there. He's kind of taken on this young core and kind of paved the way a little bit. He was a guy who I thought from the outside looking in was a guy who the players could get behind and want to play for. And then with Paul Skeen's comments, kind of makes me think maybe that wasn't the case, and maybe Derek Shelton's job was on the line for quite some time now. But no, I grand scheme of things, both these firings are not at all shocking. So you know, I guess the direction of the Rockies right now is kind of just as it's been for the last couple of years, where it's like you kind of just you got to rely on the prospects, and just really hasn't been the case. But no, Derek Shelton was definitely more shocking for me. Didn't think it would happen this early, but I knew there was a chance. So I guess grand scheme of things, I'm not too shocked.
Right, I agree with you. I am shocked with the Dallas Mavericks. By the way, no, I'm just kidding. Let me. We're not. This is gonna turn into the NBA real quick. No, I am. See, the thing with me, Bud Black's a good guy. He's a great manager, and I feel bad that he kind of got the shit end of the stick. The last couple years with this franchise, because it was very clear that the Rockies organization did not care about winning. Did not
Yeah,
care. All they cared about was pocketing the usual amount of revenue that they get annually from the other teams, and they were just doing nothing about it to help compete. Obviously, they spent a fortune to get um, Chris Bryant a couple off seasons ago, and obviously that panned out horribly. Um, they've traded guys away like Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, uh, one of their all-time greats, fan favorites, Charlie Blackmon retires last season, and they've done nothing to put a better ball club.
yeah,
And listen, usually when stuff happens like this, the manager does end up being the fall guy and taking the heat for it. But I'm glad that Rockies fans, and I saw a lot of them on Twitter yesterday, were kind of backing Bud Black a little bit. Like, hey, like, did he help? No, but Jesus, look what he had to work with. Like, there
yeah,
wasn't much to work with behind a couple players, but um, yeah. So the thing with Bud Black is I don't know why they kept him there long. Like, I understand, he'd been there for a while, but to me, you could have fired him 2 years ago, and I don't
yeah,
think I would have been that outraged about it. And um, if you wanted to fire him, now listen, I don't think the Rockies thought that it was going to be this bad to
yeah.
start the season. I don't. They don't even have 10 wins yet, and they got absolutely destroyed Saturday. 21-0, or Friday, one of the 2 days, to the Padres. So the thing is, if you wanted to, and the hit. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now. This Mavericks thing's really got me messed up here. Um, the thing that I don't understand, why would you? Because I heard the comments from the GM of the Rockies 24 hours before they fired him. They
Hmm.
said, "Yeah, we believe in Bud Black. He's our
Yeah.
guy. And then they can him 24 hours later. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Hmm.
Really, really doesn't. But um, I guess, yeah, the Pirates, Blake Shelton. I guess that does surprise me a little bit more. And listen, I don't think anybody had the Pirates making the postseason or anything, but I think everybody thought that they would at least be more competitive than this.
Yeah.
You know, 14 and 27 as of today. They're 10 games, or no, excuse me. They are 9 games back of first place in the NL Central, and they're 10 games back for, I guess, the final spot in the wild card National League race. It's the same song and dance with the Pirates.
Hmm.
They, underperformed, don't really do much about it, and now you have your star player that's clearly frustrated, and Paul
Yep.
Skeens, and the Pirates have shown me nothing other than giving a contract extension to Brian Reynolds that they're going to do anything to make this better.
Yeah.
So there's a complete scenario here where in a couple of years, Paul Skeens will not be on that team anymore. That's just the way it
Absolutely.
goes,
Yeah.
But um, yeah, lot of emotions. I saw. I think what was it? One of the players that was for the Rockies that was in tears the other day too. I think
Hmm.
he was
Yeah.
basically saying, "Just keep believing in us." And
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Rockies fan, I don't know. Well, they haven't done nothing. If I was a Rockies fan, to make me believe at all, and that's the most
No.
frustrating thing about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Bud Black is one of those guys, and I'm glad you said it. He is a good guy, and I wouldn't be shocked if Bud Black latches on with another team, whatever that looks like, in some kind of capacity. Maybe not the managerial role, but maybe a base coach or something like that. A bench coach, I could see him doing very well in. But one of the things that I want to say here is it's no secret that this National League is a gauntlet. The National League is much stronger than what the American League is. That's no secret. But what I want to see is teams like Washington, Miami, Cincinnati. Well, I'll take Cincinnati out of it because it's Francona's first year. Lavello in Arizona. You know, even San Francisco might be in there depending on how much they fall in the NL West. These divisions are gauntlets. How are we going to see more firings this year? That's kind of what I want
Yeah,
to see, especially in the National League. That's where I'm really focused on here. It's a gauntlet. There's so many good teams. I mean, you look at this NL West, every team, the top 4 teams besides the Rockies, that's a special case. But the top 4 teams have winning records. All of them. Um, it's basically the same in the Central, by a game or two for Milwaukee and Cincinnati. Um, and then you have Atlanta, Philly, and New York, all within 6 games. So that's where I'm interested to see if there's any more firings this year. I'm pretty much directing at the National League just because of how strong it is and things like that. So very interested to see that though.
yeah. There's gonna be, and it sucks, but that's just how good the National League is gonna be this year. There's gonna be like 2 or 3 teams that are gonna win 85 plus games, and they might miss the postseason.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
in a normal, well, not a normal, but in a year where maybe the National League is less competitive, you're a shoe in. 85 plus win gets usually should get you a postseason spot, but
Hmm.
there's going to be a few teams that are going to get to that 85 mark, and they might not make it.
Yeah.
So, and then that's going to lead to teams panicking and wanting to fire the manager and start fresh. Which I don't know if that's the smart thing to do, but again, we'll see. Um, 85 wins in the American League, that might get you a bye, to be honest with you.
Yeah, very well. I
Unless you're the
mean,
Yankees and I guess the Tigers right now. 85 wins, that can get you a bye.
absolutely. That's the way the American League is shaping up this year. So that's why I was more focused on the managerial roles in the National League, just because of the strong difference between the two leagues.
Right. Let's stay in the American League. Let's do Rafael Devers. Uh, I know Kyle absolutely loves what is happening over there in Boston because ever since the Red Sox signed Alex Bregman, Rafael Devers has kind of been a little stubborn. Stubborn. He says he didn't want to move out of third base. Ends up being the DH, and now there's rumors that trade talks may have started to begin for Rafael Devers, which to me that's insane. But um, I mean, to me, Rafael Devers has nobody to blame but himself. To be honest with you, like I know signing Alex Bregman was probably not a good thing for Rafael Devers' psyche, but
Hmm.
it was something the Red Sox had to do.
Yeah,
Something they had to do.
it's paid off.
It has. It's paid off so far. And I wish Rafael Devers would look at the bigger picture here. Now listen, they're 22 and 20. They're only two games out of first place behind the Yankees. Um I still stand by my point. I think they will be a postseason team this year, but
Hmm.
I just think Rafael Devers has to accept the role here, man. You gotta be more open and stuff. Like now, listen. Maybe everything that has happened since the Bregman signing, maybe he's okay with getting traded, and
Yeah,
being the everyday third baseman again. But listen, I thought being the DH was cool. I wish I could have been a DH, not have to play the field every day. I wish all
yeah,
I had to worry about was hitting, but I guess for Devers it is different, and I guess I understand it. But um, Kyle, you're a lot closer to this than I am. Just
yeah.
kind of what are your thoughts on this? And I know you probably hope that Rafael Devers gets traded, and specifically out of your division.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm kind of for this drama, man. As a Yankee fan at heart, like I'm always gonna I'm always gonna root for turmoil in Boston, man. Always.
Usually
That's
the
just how
Yankees are the ones that have the drama.
exactly. And now for once I'm gonna enjoy this out of Boston. So I definitely have a few points on this. Number one, Devers he does need to be more open. They signed Bregman and he's been having a great year. He's kind of turn the clock back a little bit with Boston,
Yep.
and it's cool to see for Bregman. Um, not for me as a Yankee fan because he has been on this absolute heater, but Devers wise, I look at it this way: if you want a chip, you got to be open. You have to, and if you can slot Bregman at third base and you put Devers at first, okay, you now have an infield of Bregman, Story, and Devers at first, and then I believe Cedane Rafaela is their second baseman right now. I believe um, that opens that DH spot for anybody. It could be Marcelo Meyer if they want to pull him up from AAA Worcester, or if they want to start kind of going through the bench and giving guys regular ABs. Coming from a Yankee fan, I can speak on this. It is not good to keep that DH role solidified to one guy. It's not because look, I mean, you see what the Yankees have been dealing with. That DH role is for Stanton, and look what they've done this year. They've been able to put Rice in there. They've been able to put Goldschmidt, and they've been able to judge for off days. Well, off days, but it opens at so much versatility. And if Devers can back the team a little bit for the greater good of the team for Boston, it kind of paves the way for a chip, man. And you and I are both high on Boston as much as I hate to admit it. I still think they're going to come out winning the division this year. But if
And
this
as crappy as
continues,
this American League is this year,
yeah,
it's not going to take much to win this. It
it
really
won't.
isn't.
And the Yankees, who are in first place right now, I can definitely speak on this, have been hit or miss, and I'm shocked that they're in first place right now. I am, with the complete bipolarness of this team. It's crazy. But back to Boston here. I see both sides. Now I'm going to switch to Devers here. I can see where Devers is. I'm like, if I'm in Devers' shoes, you signed me to this long term deal to be the franchise player, to be the head of this team. And when you think of Boston, you think of Devers right away. Now you're asking me to step out of my everyday position and play a position that I basically never played before. I see where Devers is coming from, and he kind of feels stuck a little bit. It's like, well, if I
Bryce Harper
don't
did it.
exactly, if I
He
don't
was
go
kind
do
of forced because of injuries, but
correct, yeah, if I don't go do this, then I'm here long term, man. So I get it. I get both sides, but I'm definitely leaning the more If Devers holds this Boston team back, I would not be shocked if they start taking calls if they haven't already. You know you're going to find a trade suitor. It's Rafael Devers. He's one of the best third basemen in baseball. He's one of the best players in baseball when he's on. He's their franchise player, and you locked him up for a reason. Um, I'm kind of rooting for that though. Get him out of my division, man. Devers kills Garrett Cole year in and year out, and he kills the Yankees. So if I can get Devers out of this division, and even better, get him out of the American League, oh my God, there you go. You're adding another star to the star-studded National League, but it makes the path easier for the Yankees. So I'm all for it. But yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of drama here. But I definitely think Devers needs to be more open and kind of take that Bryce Harper route to it. Um, it's something that happens when there's a player like Alex Bregman who's on the market that you can grab and add that bat to your lineup. You grab him no matter what, and you figure out the details later. Well, guess what? It's later now. So you got to figure these things out. But for Boston's sake and just for the team, man, like I'm going to take my Yankee cap off here. If I'm a Boston fan, I want Devers to play where it fits the team best. And to me right now, that's either DH or it's first base because you cannot mess with Alex Bregman right now. The way he's been playing, he's been on a heater. He's been one of the best players in baseball. Kind of turn the clock back a little bit. You rely on that. When a guy is hot, you take full advantage of that. And that's what Boston needs to do here. So I really hope for Devers and for Boston's sake that he kind of says, you know what, let's do what's best for the team. Let me try out first base, see how it goes. At least give it a shot, man. Don't just shoot it down. Be open to anything for the greater good of the team. Maybe that's just my old baseball mentality. Whatever's best for the team, but at the same time, I do understand where Devers is coming from. At least a little bit, I do. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, again, I can see where he's coming from, but man, like, put your ego away for a second, man. Like,
Yeah,
gotta put it away for a second here. But also, too, kind of what message is that sending for these young kids in this organization? That
one of the best farms in baseball, by the way.
right, and they see, okay, well, their star player that I'm supposed to look up to is
Hmm.
being too stubborn to move out of his position.
Hmm.
What example does that send for these other kids? I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but it could lead to a long term effect here if they're not careful. But I'd be very
Absolutely.
interested. I did not have Rafael Devers in trade talks at the beginning of this year. Did not see that, but I'm open
No.
for it. Give me all the drama here. I'm open for it. Uh, moving on here, let's continue with. I lost it here. Evan Longoria. He announced his retirement today after 16 years in the majors. Of course, it seems like, and from seeing all of the stuff, uh, he is going to be remembered as a Tampa Bay Ray. Of
As
course
it
he
should
is.
be.
As it should be. He was with the Rays for a long time, man. Long time, from 2008 all the way until 2017. And then he came out west here, where I got to see him a lot towards the end of his career. A couple years there with the Giants, including a BS 2021 season, along with the rest of that team, by the way. And then got so close to winning a ring with the Arizona Diamondbacks 2 years ago. But he announced a career. He announced it a career today. He finished with a batting average of 264, hit 342 home runs, had over 1,000 runs, had over 1,100 RBIs, had an OPS of 800. Obviously, not. I mean, he was a rookie of the year, multiple time All Star, multiple time Gold Glove winner, and Silver Slugger. Listen, he's not going to the Hall of Fame or anything like that, but pretty good career for a guy that did not win a championship. And he, no doubt about it, man. Like, there was a point that he's gonna be remembered as one of the most You're gonna remember that name of part of this generation of players, and wish him nothing but the best in retirement. But it's kind of crazy. Again, this is one of those players where it's like we're getting old, man. Like I remember watching Evan Longoria all those years in Tampa, and now he's retired, and it's just another reminder that we're getting old, and these past generation of players are starting to move on with their baseball careers and do something else, and it's kind of sad. It kind of made me a little sad today.
100%. I am so glad you brought that up, man. I already felt a little old when we got the announcement for the Hall of Fame this year, right? And we're going to be feeling that, but this really hit home for me today. Evan Longoria was one of those players that I attached to at a young age. You know, I've always been a Yankee fan, but Evan Longoria was one of those guys that just he did something for me. I loved watching him play in Tampa Bay, and you know, obviously when he moved out west to San Francisco and he finished his career in Arizona, he was the main reason why I rooted for Arizona in the World Series. Main reason. I wanted Arizona to win for Longoria, and this is something that kind of pisses me off about the Tampa Bay Rays, right? So we know what the Rays do. They squeeze every bit of talent they can out of everybody, and right before you have to pay them, they ship them off. And in my opinion, Evan Longoria should have been on the Rays his entire career. He was an absolute stud for those first couple of years in Tampa Bay. Um, I loved watching him play. He's such a baseball guy, right? And that was one of the big things that kind of drew me to him. Um, Kind of what stands out. I'm looking at his baseball reference here, 58.9 career WAR, and we've had guys with in those 50s numbers get into the Hall of Fame. Now, I'm not saying Evan Longoria is a Hall of Famer. I think he's in the Hall of Very Good, um, but kind of shocked me a little bit. He's pushing a 60 WAR, and that's kind of that sweet spot for those Hall of Fame voters, and we've kind of seen it. So no, it was definitely bittersweet, but I'm wishing nothing but the best for Evan Longoria. He was such a great guy. I love watching him play. Um, yeah, no, he was definitely one of those baseball lifer guys, and he uh, he embodied what it meant to be a baseball player. So it was very cool to see. He got the send off. He signed a 1 day contract with the Tampa Bay Rays. So it kind of all comes together. So happy for him, and sucks that he didn't get that ring. But yeah, uh, great career, really was.
He's 70 hits away from 2,000.
Mm.
Maybe we should come back, get that,
Yeah,
and get that milestone. But I can't wait in 5 years when he'll be eligible on the Hall of Fame ballot. I can't wait to watch a Brian Kenny breakdown on MLB Network making the case for Evan Longoria because I
absolutely.
know he's gonna do it.
Yeah,
And
for
listen, I'm
sure.
not I'm not saying that to spite Evan Longoria, throw shade at him or anything. He was a great player, but the Hall of Fame, that's a little. That's not.
It's pushing.
Let's not go crazy. Let's not go crazy here. But still, yeah, great career. You know, did a lot of things very well. Pain in the ass watching him the last couple of years in my division.
Yeah,
So um, yeah, great career, 15 years, man. There's a lot of players, 16 years, excuse me. There's a lot of players in the league today that would kill to play 16 years.
absolutely.
And he got to do it, so pretty damn good. Uh, Congratulations on a career, and enjoy retirement. Maybe he'll get into TV or something. I don't know. We'll see. You never know.
Yeah,
That's usually what a lot of these players do. They'll hop into the media. But wrapping it up here, as we always do, Dodgers Yankees. I'll start with the Dodgers today. Of course, the 1 week that I was out of town and just being on the wrong time zone and super tired from the long drive, of course, I missed the game of the year on Friday night with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. And of course, I missed one of Shohei Ohtani's signature moments in the regular season with the Dodgers. Tie ball game, ninth inning, after I think it was Gurriel. If not, it was Marte, one of the two players hit a home run off of one of the Dodger players. I think it was Sasaki. put his arms up like this, and then of course Shohei Ohtani did the hit a home run, pimped it, no doubter, and he did the exact same thing. Listen, I know a lot of people don't like Shohei because MLB, I guess they glaze him too much. I don't know. That's what the kids say. But um I don't care, man. He is deserving of the glaze. And um Shohei Ohtani, he can be a little bit of not a showboat, but he can be petty. He
Oh
can
yeah,
be petty. He's done that before. I remember some people, really Padres fans, getting complaining after he hit the home run off of Dylan Cease in Game 1 that saved our season. By the way, saw it with my own two eyes too, and then he threw the bat towards the Padres dugout. I know some people were up in arms about that after that, and then couple nights ago does the same exact celebration better, I may add, than either Marte or Gurriel Jr. I forget which one it was. But of course I missed it. But I did buy the baseball card. It was a sick baseball card that Tops now released the next day, and of course I had to get it. But again, not much for me to complain about the Dodgers. They split with um, the Diamondbacks over the weekend, which I guess I can live with it. You know, I would like to see that get cleaned up a little bit as we continue towards the season. Because again, I told everybody, and I still stand by it. I still think the Diamondbacks are going to be the second best team in this division when it's all said and done. And I really believe that we're heading towards Dodgers Diamondbacks in the division series again this year. We'll
yeah,
see, but I think that's going to happen. But um, man, like the games over there were crazy. It looked from the highlights and the score of the games, it looked like Coors Field over there. Second, the ball was flying over there in
yeah,
Arizona. Dodgers won 8-1 on Sunday. Diamondbacks won 3-0 on Saturday. That was Corbin Burns' masterclass. 14-11 on Friday, and then 5-3 Diamondbacks on Thursday. But again, not much completed for complain about. If there was something I did have to complain about, um, now, part of this is me being jealous because he's a very good looking guy, according to a lot of the Dodger girls. Anthony Bonda fucking sucks now. Seriously. He stinks. Like, listen, he was a big contributor to our 2020, I mean, our championship win last year. But he hasn't done shit this year. I think he's given up 2 grand slams. He's given up 2 grand slams. He gave one up at home, and then he gave one up the other night in Arizona. He stinks now. And this is now the second lefty that has had the bugaboo that has been bitten by just whatever happened in the year prior. This happened to Victor Gonzalez, too. He was a contributor to us in the 2020 championship, played a big role in it. He was one of the most counted on relievers. And then when he came back in 2021, and then he sucked. Now it's happening to Anthony Bonda, where he was a big contributor for us in the 2024 championship. And then he stinks now the next year. Uh, I would like to think that he'll figure it out because, listen, we still he was part of the dogs in the bullpen last year. So we kind of need him. We don't need him to figure it out because we got Michael Kopech coming back, Evan Phillips, damn on the IL again. But um, again, he stinks. But other than that, I'm not complaining. Dude, the Dodgers are still winning games, and half of their team is on the shelf again. Teoscar Hernandez, not didn't like to see that. He's going to be on the IL for a pretty long time due to a hamstring injury. Tommy Edmonds on the IL. The thing that concerns me the most, Blake Snell was supposed to be back by now, or at least throwing bullpens. His shoulder is still bugging him, and he met with the team doctor yesterday, which that was scheduled. Him and Glasnow, which that was scheduled, but I am getting very worried with Blake Snell. Listen, I know he's not a first half pitcher anyways, and he had some injury problems last year with the Giants, but we need Blake Snell, man. Like, seriously. Like if this Dodger team wants to repeat again, I really believe that you're gonna have to have 3 or 4 pretty damn good starters this time around. Like you're not gonna get away with Yamamoto, Jack Flaherty, Walker Bueller like that. Three starting, two and a half, three starting pitchers. To me, you're not going to get away with that again this year. You need at least three aces. And Roki Sasaki is still trying to figure it out right now. Right now, Yamamoto had a bad start in Arizona, but um, Snell's got to be there at the end, and Glasnow does too. But I'm getting worried about. Oh, Glasnow, he's annoying me now because he's never on the field. But Snell is the one that's worrying me because they paid big money for him.
Yeah,
Not that they didn't with Glasnow, but I think we all know what he is now. But I
yeah,
know the 2-time Cy Young Award pitcher, Blake Snell, and I want to see it.
yeah,
Even when he was out there at the beginning of the year, kind of didn't see that. Which again, he doesn't have that great first half seasons anyways, and maybe the shoulder had something to do with it too. But um, you just gotta get healthy, man. You just gotta stay healthy. But again, the thing that is making me very confident is that the Dodgers are missing some of their big pieces still, and they are still winning games. They're still winning ball games, and that to me that is scary for the rest of the league. They are
yeah.
still finding ways to win games with the pieces that they have, and yeah, and they're only a game up on first place with San Diego on their tail again. But again, Dodgers just continue to win games and just get healthy, man. Because if they have a healthy team by the end of, but if we get to September and this Dodger team is humming and they're healthy, look out. They're gonna be hard to beat again. I'm telling you. But again, they have to be healthy. A shout out Freddie Freeman. He's hitting over 350. He's been one of the best players so far on a bad ankle again, I might add. After re-injuring his ankle a couple weeks ago, he went 4 for 4 yesterday, including hitting a home run, which that was cool on Mother's Day. He's up to like 364, and just Freddie Freeman. It has been a treat to watch Freddie Freeman in a Dodger uniform for these last couple years. Take out his heroics in the postseason last year in the World Series. Take that out. This guy is a walking over 330 batting average player a season. That's incredible. In a day and age like today where everybody just cares about launch angle and hitting home runs and not caring how much they strike out, Freddie Freeman is I want to get on base, I want to get a base hit. If I can hit home runs, great. But I want singles and doubles. And that's what Freddie Freeman's been doing, and so happy that he's performing extremely well and picking up from his heroics in the postseason last year. But that's all I got with the Dodgers, man. Just continue what you're doing, and just get healthy, man. Just get healthy. Like this, I hope we get to see this team healthy for a long period of time. Because again,
Yeah.
we're doing this thing again where we haven't seen this team at full strength yet, but they're still winning games, and you're not going to have any complaints out of me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So moving on to the Yankees over
John
here.
Fisher got to see Aaron Judge yesterday, all weekend, after
Yeah.
he said he was going to. Nah, never mind. I don't want to say that. Never mind. Just go ahead. I was going to make a very inappropriate remark, but go ahead.
Good. So Yankees are heading into Seattle tonight. Of course, they're on the
Jesus.
West Coast, so
When the game
these are
starts at 11 o'clock in
first
PA.
pitch. First pitch is 9:40. Don't
Okay,
necessarily
not
love
bad.
that for my work tomorrow, but beside the point, they're coming off two series wins. One against San Diego, they took 2 out of 3. Same with the Athletics, took 2 out of 3. So yeah, offense is looking good. They kind of went on well, it was a minor league ballpark, so it kind of makes sense. Some crooked numbers on that scoreboard, man. But no, offense is kind of clicking right now. Um, Pitching staff looks okay. Max Fried continues his dominance. He's looking great. Bullpen's been pretty good. I like what I'm seeing out of Devin Williams. I know he's been a big topic of conversation recently, but for good reason. So I kind of like that he's kind of playing back into his role. Um, pretty much the one thing that I have to say yet again. I say it every time. Aaron Judge, man, wild. He's going into this series batting 409 on the
That's
year.
crazy.
409. I don't know how many guys can go into this late of a season batting over 400. That is absolutely wild. We're playing in a league where 3 out of 10 is considered great. What the hell is 4 out of 10? You know what I mean? It's crazy. And he's also tied for the league lead in homers, so that comes as no shock. He's batting well over 1,000 OPS. Um, guys just guys of freaking nature, man. And credit to MLB Network here, and kind of saved my ass with a little bit of crazy stats here. Posted about 20 minutes ago. He has more games with 3+ hits than with no hits. He
Jeez.
has. This is kind of Bryce Harper catching strays here, but he has as many singles as Bryce Harper has hits. He's batting
Wow.
two. He's batting 244 with two strikes. The rest of MLB overall is batting 243. His ground ball rate is up by 9.2%. His pull error rate is down by 9.4%. So thanks for MLB Network for that. But no, overall, absolutely beautiful. I love what I'm seeing out of him. He's just insane, man. And if we continue to ride Aaron Judge's bat here, um, there's no telling what this offense can do. He's the leader of the squad, obviously, and he gets the guys behind him. We've been seeing that. Overall, I don't have too many complaints. They're in first place in the AL East. Now, that is a that to me personally, just being a Yankee fan, that's a shock, man. You know, this team isn't what it was. They're 23-17. 5-5 in their last 10. They only hold a 2-game lead up on Boston, which is something they can lose very easily. So I don't necessarily love that, but they just, I guess, just keep going, keep coasting, and see where this AL East takes you. If you keep winning games, that's what matters. So that's pretty much all I have on the Yankees. I really don't have too much. I can't really complain too much. There's obviously these little things here and there that they need to clean up. Defense isn't as strong as it was at the beginning of the year or going into the year. Offense kind of slowed down a little bit. Pitching behind Max Fried isn't all that great. So just kind of put it together and see where it takes you. But as of now, May 12th at 8:03 p.m. Eastern time, by the way. Um, there's not too much to complain about. The Yankees just got to. I mean, they're in first place and just keep winning. That's all I really have.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna do it for episode one
27.
127. I'm like, are we 107, 117? What number is it? 127. Um, I we got to see a live reaction today, not with anything baseball related, but you got to see my reaction to the NBA draft lottery.
Hey, we'll take
Don't
it.
the NBA is rigged, man. Don't tell me it isn't. Don't tell me it isn't. You mean to tell me they traded Luca 2 months ago, and then they get rewarded with the number one pick, and now all these damn Maverick fans that said they were never going to be fans of the team again, now they're all going to run back with Cooper Flag jerseys on next season.
Yep.
Unreal, unreal. But
And
anyways,
also too, I mean, I'll put my NBA 2 cents into that. That was according to
they had like
the
one of the
man.
lowest odds to get the first pick too.
Yes, and according to now, I follow my favorite team's the Heat. I have one guy who I follow for beat reporter. The Mavericks win the top NBA pick from what would have been the Heat lottery seed. And if it wasn't for the Heat making the play in, they could have got the first pick. But it doesn't
Jeez.
bother me that much because I'm not big into basketball. So I'm focused on baseball right now. That's always where my focus is. So I just
Well, it
wanted to
bothers me because I am
yeah,
very
no,
locked in with everything.
I get it.
Uh yeah, I think that's gonna do it for episode 127. Um, yeah, we're getting to the dog days here. We're not
We
quite
are.
there yet, but we are getting there. We're not there
Yep.
yet, but we are getting there. But uh, this was good. There was a lot of drama this week, and I kind of hope it continues. To be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. Especially in Boston, man. Keep it going.
All right, well, that's gonna do it. We'll see you in a week. Adios.